Yo, I'm Micks Mowers, Mower man, and welcome to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be looking at a little McAllister lawnmower that my friend's just bought in. He says that been running fine for 2 years, and this year took it out of the shed and it won't have it at all. It's not running, it won't even start apparently, so we'll have a look at it. So it can't do, but this is pretty common for lots of lawnmowers that people drag out of the shed, and first mow of the season, the lawnmower don't start. So quick look at that. Quick little update on me and what I'm up to. We are still cutting down all these conifers. So I'm going to process all this stuff first before I get on and do the rest of them. But that's all that's left. So I've got 1, 2, 3. There's about 5 in there that need to come down. But I'm going to take all this weight off of this side here first. I've been moving trees, I've got saps over me. All this weight off this side here first before I come down. So I've been doing that. Been out with Pip and Mrs. P on a bit of a health spurt, to be fair. So since the 1st of March, and we're currently the 22nd or 23rd today, since the 1st of March, I've lost 1 stone 3 pounds. So that's good. Mrs. P's on a different diet to me. She's lost over a stone, but with the new diet she's on, she's lost about 5 or 6 pounds so far. So I don't think that tell by the thinness of my face, but it is going. And last week, just with walking alone, I managed to walk 46 miles in a week. So that's good. So we've been doing that. Pip's been getting 2 to 3 walks a day. So Pip is actually, she's lost a load of weight too. She's actually looking very slender, very thin, which is what we're not thin, but healthy, which is what a Pip here. Good Pip. Which is what a spanner should look like. So she's looking really good. She was looking a little bit cubish, but she's definitely benefiting from it. She loves playing with her ball, so she's playing with her ball in the garden. I've just literally set the luber up first time this year. Haven't had luber out since last winter, since last summer. As I say, we're now the 23rd of March. So literally I went onto the app, I logged in. There was no updates at all that it needed, and luber fired straight up, 100% charge. I left it out all winter in all weathers in its little tiny hut it's got that comes with it, and I've set it to about 45mm cut. Now it did just have a little bit of a glitch where there's a bit of twig underneath it or something, and I tipped it up, and then it's just started to mow from the start again. So it's currently about 75%. It's done over half of a garden, not that you can see, but it's only just a quick little brush cut. But you can see that actually, I've had this mow about 3 years now, and you can see the stuff is taken off. It is taking it off, but you've got to, these lubers, you've got to set them out to work nearly every day for the first couple of cuts. Once they've been out 2 or 3 times in a week, they then get on top of it, and then they then manage it. So if you're looking for it just to have a perfectly cut lawn first time out, it ain't going to happen. You've got to set them out to work, and you've got to set them out to work quite regular. But luber's working all way. It do the entire garden, then it come around and do the outsides. It could go around the outside 3 times. So that's what I'm doing. Mr. B's bought me a nice latte. So the diet I'm doing is literally just calorie deficit. Calorie deficit for intake and for what we're doing. I bought a new Android smartwatch which will monitor my health, my steps, my calories, blood pressure, all that sort of stuff. My blood pressure was 130, 140 over 80, and over the past 23 days it's now down to a good moderate 126 over 79. So happy with that. Hey ho, that's not about me. I've not been down the shed since the last time I was down the shed video, but got to get this lawnmower done. My mate wants it back this week, so said I'll do it, and then I've got to work on a Kaz. I've got 2 Kazes up there. One's got a dicky engine, one's got a dicky roller. Make 1 out of 2. Got to do that. So, right, let's have a quick look at this one. Whilst my luber's working, my dog's driving me nuts. I'm trying to get the lawn looking nice, and she's just beating the ball up. Cheers, Pip. So, let's have a quick look, see what this is doing. So it's got oil in that I do know. It has got some petrol in that I do know. Doesn't seem to be anything nasty in there, which is good, but we shall see. But petrol does smell a bit funky. HT lid on, yeah. Give it about 15 pumps, first time of the year. give it loads. So we can't get. Dead man's being pulled in nice. Okay, so it does start but die. Now he said didn't even do that, so it's only started because I've given it the extra pumps. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to literally pump it up. Right now, when I start it, I'm going to dart around the other side of the machine and I'm going to continually pump it, okay, to try and force that fuel through. So now I'm pumping to try and get more fuel through. But because it died whilst I was pumping, that's telling me we definitely have a carburetor problem or fuel problem. So it starts and dies. Is your lawnmower doing that? Well, it's very, very common for a lawnmower to do that if it is first cut of the season or if your fuel goes bad. It's generally a fuel issue, especially if you're using an E10. Stay off of E10. Right, because I'm pumping it and it's not staying running, that means we have a fuel delivery issue, okay? And that's the reason why it's come to me to have the carburetor off, tank flushed, carburetor cleaned, and go from there. Now this would have been faulted had the gentleman run the machine completely dry. That's one way of nearly getting around it. Or the other tip I have for you, which I think is the best tip around, and that is around about September, October time if you're still cutting, and this is for home users only of course. Around September or October, go down to your local lawnmower shop or on Amazon, you can get on Amazon a bit more expensive, and pick up some Aspen 4, okay? And around about September, October time, where you're only cutting like once a fortnight, run your machine on Aspen 4 only. When it's been run on Aspen 4, because it doesn't suck in all the moisture from the environment, you can put this away in your shed, start it up, and I guarantee you it'll start next year. It is very expensive. It's about 25 to 35 pound for 5 litres. 5 year shelf life unopened, 2 year shelf life opened. So Aspen 4 for your 4 strokes and Aspen 2 for your 2-stroke 50-to-1 mixes. And you shouldn't have any more carburetor problems going forward. I have literally had no problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to very quickly show you. I've been running mine on a pre-mixed 2-stroke version, right? So my leaf blower hasn't been out since last year, okay? Let's grab my leaf blower. Now my chainsaw has, but my leaf blower hasn't. So I just run a Titan leaf blower. It's nothing fancy, it wasn't expensive, but it has got the 50-to-1 fuel in here. Now, this hasn't been used for about 5 months, okay? So technically my shorts and my trousers are falling down because I'm losing weight. So if I now turn that on, give that a few little tiny revs just to hold it in place. I'm going to choke it and poke it. Choke it. And this is the steel equivalent, okay, of the premix. Plenty of pumps. Turn it on. That is on choking it, Mick. Which way is choke? Yeah, choke that way. That fired then. Now that was 3 pulls. I could have got it fired on the second pull. It did actually fire. That's a 2-stroke. So tell me how many people have got a 2-stroke machine in their shed which has been stored for 4 to 6 months and it starts on the second or third pull because it's been winterized. So now what I do is this will now come off of the Aspen style fuel and it'll go back onto the standard fuel, and at the end of the year after the leaf season's gone, I'll put it back onto the Aspen. Hey ho, tuck it away, it's done. So quick tip for you there. It is a bit expensive, but trust me girls and guys, run your lawnmowers on the Aspen 4 cycle just before we put them away, so there's plenty of Aspen in there, and then next year when you get it out of the shed, I guarantee you it will start. Guarantee you. Right, let's get on because I'm yakking. First video of the year pretty much for me really, and it's going to be on a 500E series, Briggs & Stratton, not my favourite engine in the world, don't like them really. They run very hot and all the rest of it, but anyway, that's another story. Let's get it up on the bench, get it looked at, carburetor off, fuel inspection, tank flush, and see if I can get this machine to run and start off its own back and stay running. Once it's out, I might get it looked at its service, blade sharp and balanced, clean spark plug, all of that sort of good stuff, but let's get it running first before we know what's going on. So many people would now, at this point, throw this lawnmower away and go and buy a new one. Not here, not in the Micks Mower shop. Not on my watch, baby. Right, let's get it in the shed and we'll get this one looked at. Right, so now the mower's up on the bench, start stripping down a few bits and pieces now because I want to get into this mower and try and find out the reason why it's not actually starting off its own back. I'm going to remove the HT lead off of the spark plug so that we know that the machine cannot start. You want a couple of sockets for this machine. I think there's 7 and 8s on here. Bigger ones. What's that I've got here, Mick? What is that? That's an 8. That'd be a 7. Yeah, 8's on here. 8 there, 8 there, and then a 7 on these littler ones just here. Okay. So you can either use your impact or you can use a ratchet, whatever you want to do. Choice is completely yours. I generally use my impact just because it's a little bit quicker. So 8mm there, there's one there to do, and the other 8mm is over there. Take them off. Now do yourself a favour, get yourself a little tiny tub, right? It could be anything, right? Just a little tiny tub, and you just put your bits in there, right? So you don't lose them as you're going along your little journey with me. 7mm, one down here. Just drop that, and one down here. Now the reason they're different is because the 8mm, they go into metal, and the 7mm go into plastic on the carby. So I need to find that other 7mm, there it is just there. So these little 7mm, they go just here on his inside the carby, into plastic, they're coarse threads. The other ones are fine threads and they go into into this little tiny guard here on the top. So I'm getting around the wrong way. Put the primal out of the way. Now the first thing I want to do is I want to take the fuel out of this machine, okay? Because I believe that to be the issue. The issue I have is that someone's put in or left in the fuel. That's what he said to me. I left the fuel in from last year, Mick. So I'm going to put some hose clamps on there. I'm going to have a pair of long nose pliers. Pardon me. And I'm just going to manipulate this fuel hose off. Now I'm bringing it around so you can see a bit better, otherwise you'll be complaining you haven't seen nothing. So 2 seconds, let me just situate the camera. Right, so now you're super duper close, right, but you might get knocked because you are in the way. So remove the clamps, just this one side, off of the carburetor side only, okay? Push it all the way back. Now, with this one, very gently, don't just get hold of it here and just bend it off, because what will happen, you end up snapping the carburetor fuel pipe, fuel inlet bit. So just get hold of it, start to get a bit of a wiggle. Once you find it's got a bit of a movement to it, you can then get hold of it and then just tease that off. If you go too close to the carby, you'll end up literally snapping that off. Now I've got hold of that with my long nose pliers, and what I'm going to do now, just going to grab behind me. Now I use these. These are little tiny Chinese takeaway tubs, and absolutely brilliant for retrieving your fuel. You can use, as my mate Dougie does, microwave mill tubs. They're pretty good too. Right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to drop this height control down. So just drop put that lever out of the way a little bit, because it's a little bit too close. Because they don't give you a lot of room here. What you can also do is get a little funnel or anything like that, just so you can try and capture some of this fuel. And it's going to be a bit tricky, but I want to try and get the bulk of it so I can show you girls and guys. Right, so let me get all this fuel out and I'll come back to you once I've done that. Right, where is Peter McVitie? Where is my red funnel? That's the one I want. Any funnel will do, to be fair, but it's my red one I want. Oh, where it fucking is. Not seen it. Yes, it is hiding. Oh, a little funnel just there, that might have to do. Right, so carburetor is now off. What now I want to do is very carefully tip this up and just undo the two little tiny bolts that are situated on this carb, one here and one here. Okay, now I'm trying to keep the carburetor this way up so that any fuel that's inside doesn't come pissing out anywhere. So I want to try and show you guys if there's a fault with the fuel inside this carb. Now put those two bolts away to the side, but don't get them mixed up with your ones that go on the carburetor airbox. Okay, because ours are slightly different. The longer ones, let me just show you. The longer ones which come out of a carby, which is a coarse thread, okay. The longer ones come out of a carb, the smaller ones go in the airbox, okay. So don't forget those. Right, now that's done, I'm going to grab myself a little tiny flat-headed screwdriver, and all I'm now going to do is just going to tease this apart, like so. That way, that way. That way, that way. A little tiny rock. So there's our carby inside. So look inside. Do you know what? It doesn't look too bad. It smells absolutely rancid, but it doesn't smell too bad. There's not a lot of ethanol in there at all. There's little tiny bits of sludge in here. I can see it. Little tiny bits, but nothing super duper bad. So give it a bit of a clean, just where it is. I'm now going to start to disassemble this carburetor. Take out your float pin, clean as you go. Take out your float pin, just lift it up each side. That'll lift up, okay, and then you've got, that's interesting, because that little needle, that should have been inside that little tiny slot just like that, hanging up like that. But I don't think that was. It was sat down. Very rare that gets left behind. Okay, that could have been it, maybe. Now I'm going to get hold of this. This is your main jet cartridge. Now you can just buy these bits here, and I've had great success with just changing these little tiny cartridges on their own. Okay, they do actually seem to respond quite well to just having the cartridges changed. But you must buy, and this is my top trick for these little tiny engines. If you're going to buy this carburetor, buy it genuine only. If you're going to buy these cartridges, buy it genuine only. Don't muck about with the cheap stuff, okay? It may look like a good price on eBay, Amazonian or wherever, but I'm telling you, if you buy cheap, you get cheap results. It's as simple as that. Now using a little tiny screwdriver here, just trying to get inside this cartridge, just to try and pick it up, tease it up out, because I want to try and save the O-ring, which is a big O-ring just there. There's an O-ring just here, which should be a little bit deformed. It's just crept up. Okay, so these are all the jets in here. 1, 2, there's another one just there, and then this piece here, this bit actually comes off. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And that bit then comes off. There's a ball bearing there that needs to be in situ. A little bit of the main jet there needs to be in situ. There's a jet just in here. I can see it's free. There's a jet there. That looks slightly restricted. Okay, so I've not had great success with these. I've got to be honest. I'm 9 times out of 10, when I say I've had no great success with them, generally they just fire straight back up. Okay, but I've not had great success with these carburetors. My friend Dougie up the road, he has always said to me, if you have an E-Series engine that's over 4 years old, that's on its first genuine carb, just replace the carb, Mick, don't muck about. That's what he's always said to me, and I've always tried to go by that. But you know me, if we can fix this stuff, then we should try. We should at least try. So I use these little tiny thumb drills. You can find them on eBay and Amazon. Just punch in the word thumb drill. There's no particular size that I go to. All I use it for is like a little tiny file. So as long as it goes in the hole, I then just use that as a bit of like a rimming grinding tool. I'm just literally just touching the outside of inside diameter of that main jet. Now if you think you can go a little bit bigger, that's what she said, then put that one in, try that. That's gone in, yeah. And just literally very carefully, just rub the inside diameter of that main jet. That's all I'm doing. I'm not drilling it. This bit fits in. I literally am just rubbing it, okay, just trying to get some of that ethanol out. There's a little tiny jet inside here. See if it go in, it fits in lovely. And again, a little tiny rubbing process. Some people remove these ball bearings to get a good clean. I don't. I'm just rubbing. Right, now, with that done, what I like to use is stuff called Pocket Rocket. Now, the reason I like Pocket Rocket for these, in comparison to WD-40 or carburetor spray, is this is non-corrosive to the O-rings, okay, and this has a massive jet compared to WD-40. So over the hole, nice gentle spray to begin with, and you can start to see it running out of these holes just here. Block the end up, and that's what you want to be seeing. You want to see it starting to come out of these holes. Then run it back through this jet here. Once you've got it running through these main holes, block those holes up so it runs straight out of this main jet, out the top. There you go, see it? And this Pocket Rocket, see how it's cleaning those jets up, look? That's what you want. That's why I like the Pocket Rocket. Now you can buy, as I say, the cartridges for these. We do two different types. One for 450 below and one for 450 above. A general clean. Just keep going. There could be the smallest bit of grain of sand in there or something. A bit of sand, it's just blocking that up. So just make sure you're getting all the holes necessary to ensure that this carburetor is absolutely A1 spotless. Once that bit's done, you've got another jet over here to do. And again, you want to block these off, just block one end off slightly. So it runs out the back of it. And the other side. Try and get in every single orifice there is. Try and get them running. Once you're convinced you've got those running, okay, put them to one side. Make sure they're clean. And then we'll divulge onto the next part of the carburetor clean, which will be the actual carburetor itself, okay? So the carburetor itself, there's not a lot here to clean. Honestly, there's not. Literally, you've got a couple of holes. You've got one just here. There's a little tiny jet right down in there. Try and show you it. There it is. You want to get into that one. That's the most important one. Really, really give that a good spray, because that's the one that comes up through the center cartridge. Okay, that's the one you want. Really blast that. As they call it, the golden eye. Don't shove it in the brown eye. Right. Up through the main carburetor fuel feed. And then back. So everywhere you go, you're putting the spray through one and then back the other. So find out where it comes from and then push it back the other way. All right. That way you're making sure that everything is being removed. Another one down in there. That's down through the centre of the carb. A good spray through the actual throat. Pushing any dirt out that we don't want. One more to do, which is down to that one. As I say, find out where it comes from. That's coming from that little tiny jet I was on about a minute ago. Once I get it in the hole. And then back through again. That's good. Down through the centre there. Right, and that's pretty much it. Right, there's not a lot to these carbies, there really isn't. And that is why they baffle me. Because they are so basic. I don't understand why it is they have to run so blinking lean. Because you do any drilling on these and they don't like it. I've watched many a fantastic lawnmower repair guy, small engine guy. I've watched many over my YouTube career, hobbyist, and some are, as far as I'm concerned, first class, world renowned celebrity, know what they're doing, and I don't get it. Even they try not to drill them too much. Clean the bowl out best I can. Make sure everything is out. Now, as far as I'm concerned, that carburetor is now cleaned. There should be absolutely no reason why this engine shouldn't run. Now, my last tip I've got for you is if you have one of these carburetors at the end of the season, you can just put an Allen bolt onto the back of this here when it's on the engine, slip this bolt out, this hex bolt out, and that will drain off all the fuel. So there's a little tiny reserve bit there. If you take that little tiny hex bolt out, that will drain all your fuel out of the tank. Okay, leave that out, put it up somewhere nice and safe, and then next year when you come in, put that one back in, put fresh fuel in, not fresh fuel from your fuel can from last winter, put fresh fuel in that you've just bought, and your engine should run. Okay, so you've got the same option as a Honda's. Just take a little tiny drain bolt out the bottom. If not, run them on Aspin. It is expensive, and some people say to me, you know, oh Mick, I've been running machines since 1936 and I've never had a problem. That's good enough for you. But some people do have problems, and that's why I watch my videos. But that's the way we go. So I'm cleaning this carburetor up best I can. I'm just conscious that I'm putting nothing in on my rag back into the carby. Just conscious of that. So quick inspection, gentle swirl round. Make sure I put no bits of rag in there, anything like that. Okay, tip that out. Right, so now we're ready to reinstall this carburetor. So we know that our carburetor is now clean. That bit has got to go onto, get this right. Do you know what? It's been an age. Okay, no. It's been too long, baby. That goes onto there, that goes onto there. Yeah, like that. Right. That sits down. It's been a while since. That's it, right, there you go. Right, that's onto there. We all do it, you know. We all forget where bits go. Again, I'm just making sure. Look at the dirt on my hands. Look, I'm just making sure that I'm not introducing anything. There's nothing in here that's being introduced by me that'll make this carby run worse. So remember, I haven't actually physically drilled this jet out. Now, some people have said to me, Mick, I have a problem putting these back in because they can't get it. Now, inside here, there's a little tiny white collar. That white collar will move forward or backwards. If it's not in the central place, then you'll find what happens then is it gets stuck. So make sure that little tiny white collar is in the centre. I mean, that can go down. Goes one way or the other. It goes in like that, and then push him down so it goes click, click, like that. There you go, and that's in. And you can see the little tiny emulsion tube is just poking out the middle of that white collar. If that white collar is not in the right position, then it won't do that. I'm going to give this another carburetor a quick little clean. There's a bit of dirt just there. I'm just cleaning. I'll open that throttle right up. Go all the way through, get rid of it. All right. We're looking good now. So now onto a needle and a seat. So there's a dirt, I'll just put on there with my thumb, let's see. We're going to get rid of that. Now I don't care if you use a whole tin of this pocket rocket. It's worth every penny. Right? Literally, make sure everything is spotless when it goes back in. Because these machines, these little E-series, they just run so lean. Right, what I'm going to do now is a bit of dirt just there. I can see it just here. Can you see it? You see it just there. I'm just going to rest this on where it needs to go. And then I'm going to tip that carb up onto its side and run that bit of dirt out. Right, happy with that. Tip that out. Tip my bowl out again. Right, now I'm after my little tiny pin, which I've probably lost. Here it is. There's my pin. I'm just going to lift that up, put that through. I don't want to lose my little needle. Because that needle needs to stay inside the slot. provided by Briggs and Stratton. There's a little tiny slot. It's got to stay in there. And I don't think it was. That goes in, that all sits down. Now I'm going to squeeze that down into its posts. There's one. It tap down a touch. There's two. Right, now, before you put this carb away, we're going to tip it up one more time and we'll give it another clean. Anything that I might have introduced. Cleaning carburetors, just keep repeating the words to yourself. Cleanliness is next to godliness. Carburetor has to be clean. If it's not clean, you're going back. Now, what I will say to you, right, guys and girls, now I will say this to you. I get lots of comments, because I've got lots of videos, right? I get lots of comments every single day, right? Every single day or months or whatever. Bit of bright light behind me. People say to me, Mick, got a lawnmower like this and like on the video, clean the carburetor, still mucking about. Any suggestions? Yeah, carburetor. They get back to me, Mick, clean the carburetor twice now, still hunting and surging. Any suggestions? Yeah, carburetor. Mick, clean the carburetor out now 3 times now, not as bad, but still a slight hunt. Any suggestions? Yeah, carburetor. Don't think just because you see me do it once on a video, but you only have to do it once. There are times off video you may not see me do it, or if I'm not doing a video just working away, I might clean the carburetor 7 times. Put it through the ultrasonic cleaner. That's just the way it goes. So just don't think, oh, Mick did it in one video, why can't I do it? If you want to do it in one, then make sure you do it right first time. Best advice. Okay, that's what I'll say to you. If you don't listen to me, then go and watch Roy's a Boy or something. Right, so we're going to get down now and dirty, and we're going to put this bowl back on. It goes on one way. I always forget which way around these go. There's my flow there. Right, it goes on there. Now I've got a screw in. Come on, baby. In you go. In you go. Push it down. Push it down. New rag. Right, now I get my longer bolts here. And we're going to put that one in there. These are the 8s, these are the longer ones. And we're going to nip them up. Now, the best thing I've done so far to this machine is, that's number 1, is we've drained the fuel out. So we've taken out the contaminant. Because it's the fuel that's gone bad. It's not necessarily the carburetor that's bad. We've taken out the contaminant, okay? All the fuel's now gone, and we've now cleaned the carburetor to our best of our ability, and then dropped it on the floor. So again, quick clean. I dropped it on a muddy floor. See that mud? Look, get rid of it. Don't do a Micks Mowers, guys, and drop it on the floor. Right. So we've now taken all that bits and pieces out. We're now going to fit this now back to the machine. So let me get resituated and put my bits to one side so I can get the lawnmower nice and close, and I'll come back to you in 2 seconds. Right, so carburetor fitting back on time. There is your throttle housing, your throttle eyelet there. That goes on that little tiny rod just there, as previously just talked about. Don't forget, there's a little tiny plastic ring here and a rubber O-ring behind it. Sometimes you find these 2 bits on the intake tube there. Take them off and put them back onto the carburetor and then go from there. So I'm going to lift this carburetor up. We're going to hook it onto the throttle linkage, push it in, push it round so it sits just like so. So it's very, very happy. We're now going to slide. This goes in. See that little tiny white bit there? That goes in that little tiny slit, and then it then pushes all the way onto the tube. It'll find its own way, and it goes plop just like so in a minute. When it's on there, it don't go on very fast. You don't have to force it. It just sits on there. That should be about right. I think I'm happy with that. No, a bit more yet. This was a touch more, Mick. Do come out of there, Mr. Gasket, because they like to expand on you. That's it. I don't want to go in. it only goes so far, and then it's got to go only one way. So just make sure it goes on. If it don't go on, you just have to fiddle about with it till it does go. There it goes, it's going. Right, I think that's on. I think we're there. Or are we not? I don't think we are. Once it finds it, there we go. There you go, that's a bit better. That felt a bit better. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Right, that's it, that's going. Right, that's on. So now you've got to hook up your fuel line and then put your air box back on. Let me get resituated, I'll come back to you. Right, fuel pipe's back on now. And then just get your clamp, run that down so that is sitting where it needs to sit. It's a bit fiddly. Because obviously Briggs like to give you absolutely loads of bloody room to work with, as usual. I like to use my little tiny short nose stubby ones for these because, well, I do. I wouldn't say otherwise. Some short nose stubby ones which just take over the whole clamp in one hit and then just slide them over like that. Lovely. Right, now you can get your little tiny tub, wherever it's gone. Probably lost mine, here it is. And then your air box. Just a quick visual inspection here to make sure everything is working as it should do. There's no other dirt in here that's going to incorporate inside the carby. All looks good. Right, so this bit here, this is your crankcase breather. That's got to go onto that pipe there. So just fiddle that on first. Put your finger behind, just slide it in. Once that's taken, you can then put the rest of the carb on. Just make sure before you put it all back together, that pipe is on the back. And then you've got your 4 bolts to put in. Remember what I said to you, coarse threads are going into plastic and your fine threads are going to go into the metal. So if you're not sure, just have a look. So I know that my coarse threads are on the left and right hand side. Oh, hang on. That's it. So your coarse ones here, look, they're going to go into the plastic. That's into the carb itself. Once it lines up, of course. Got one down here to do. Start him off. And one over there to do. Start him off. One there. One there. Change socket. Onto the fine threads which go into a metal. And that's going to be one. It's going to go in there. And one into there. Now, not doing this up tight until they're all in. Because that will then centralise the carburetor for where it's got to be. And then I know for a fact that's in the right place. Change sockets again, come back and just nick up the little plastic ones. Done. So all that's now left to do is for me to put some fresh fuel in, number one. Which I've got by my feet here. Some fresh fuel and put the air filter back in and what have you. I'm not going to give it a full service just yet. I need to make sure the machine runs. If the machine doesn't run, then there's no point me going any further until I have to take the carburetor back off again to clean it again. Do you understand what I'm saying? So let's put some fresh fuel in. Brand new, fresh fuel. I bought one of these the other day. I've had this fuel can for a long old time and I lost that bit, which is a bit that seals your can. And I found a company on eBay that actually just sells this bit here, so I thought I'd have that. So don't forget, whilst I've been yakking to you doing this repair, I have allowed my fuel tank to evaporate fully. So there should be no fuel inside this fuel tank. I'm going to put a few glugs in. We're not going to go mad. Because I may have to remove it all again. Let's just check the level. Yeah, enough what I need. I'm going to take that fuel can thing back off and put that little tiny yellow bit that I lost last time, put that back inside so we don't keep losing it. So I keep losing it. That goes in there and that goes on there. That keeps my fuel nice and fresh then, see? Right, but then I only buy E5 anyway, or ethanol free if I can get it. But that's getting harder and harder. Right, fuel cap back on. Valance clean, we're happy. I'll meet you outside in 2 or 3 seconds for you guys, 2 or 3 minutes for me. Get the machine off the bench, and I won't fire it up until I get out there because that would be cheating. And that's not something I do. So let me get it off the stand, get you situated, and I'll meet you outside and we'll go for a quick little fire up. Right, got my mower. What you got there, Pip? Pip, here, come here, don't walk off. What do you got? Leave it. Leave it. Yeah, blinking stone. You, I should call you the Rolling Stones. That's why my cylinder mower keeps going bang. Because you keep eating stones. Piglet. Luber's working away. Done quite a good job. But as I said to you earlier on, it's going to want, it may not like a bit, just said, might be a bit thick for it there. It may not like it, but it's doing a pretty good job. I may let it charge up in a minute and then it can go and do another cut again on full height just to get these tops off. The advantage with Luber is that Luber does the work whilst I do the videos. Right. Let's have a look here then. So, I might get run over by Luber in a minute. I don't know where you're going, Lube. Where are you going, Lube? You're going there, right? Right. Okay, so I've not started it up. HT lead back on. Don't forget that. Don't doing a project, man. That's what he does. Right. Try and fire it up now. Now it may not start. It may want another carburetor clean. We'll see. Let's see what it do. So, we're getting there. It's now staying running, but I've got a hunt and surge. If I now prime that, that may clear it a little bit. Oh, didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. Didn't touch it. Right. Now the only issue I got is that was hunting and surging initially, and that's not something I want it to do. Let me go, look again. It may want a good run. It may want a good run. It's got fresh fuel in there now, so we won't know until tomorrow. Here, Pip, come on, Pip. Pip, come on. Because tomorrow, even after a full tank of juice, it may decide to continue hunting. Now, if it does do that, like I said to you, don't get disheartened with having to go back into the shed and give it another clean. These E-Series are just like that, okay? They do have this issue. And I've not had fantastic success with them. It could have been that I put too much fuel in the carburetor initially when I primed it. It says only 3. They do run very, very lean. But let's just see again. I'll just try and start without priming it, see if it will actually start now of its own back. Pip, come here, darling. Pip, here. Come here. Come here, Pip. Here. Here. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Excuse me. Thank you. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Lay down. Good. Good. Driver works. So now it seems to be doing its job. But tomorrow morning will be the test when I come back out tomorrow and give it another pull start, see what it does then. There's plenty of oil in there. I think literally it may want another carb clean. pumps. Okay, so I'm happy with it. What I'm now going to do is I'll go forward now, give it a blaze sharpener balance, new spark plug, new air filter, an oil change, all that sort of good, lovely stuff, because that will also help. It could be that the air filter is a little bit dirty and it's not sucking enough air in. That could be another problem, which these machines do suffer with. So just because you still got a bit of a hunt and surge maybe going on, just remember it could be your air filter too. These are all things that they're designed to be clean and maintained to enable your machine to run as smooth as it should do. But apart from that, it came in not running, wouldn't run off its own back. The bloke said it wouldn't even start, but I managed to get it started. It wouldn't run off its own back. It would just literally just start and die. But now it's warmed up, it will now run off its own back with no hunting. They never have been a very, very nice, smooth running engine anyway. Never had done. They never have done. They never have done. I think they run smooth when you first buy them brand new, but the next day, that's what it is. So there you go. Quick little video for you there on how to successfully service your carburetor on your, I've lost a bit of weight, haven't I? On your 500E, 450, 650, all the same. E-series engine, one of the plastic carburetor. If in doubt, right, and if you really are just fed up with it, buy yourself a new one. But a new carburetor will cost you about 35 to 40 quid, right? But they're worth every single penny. If you buy the cheap $6.99 one off of eBay or Amazonian, you're going to be doing exactly the same thing within 3 weeks, okay? They are absolutely shocking. Do not do it. I've done it. Ask me how I know. I've done it, okay? Tried to cut a corner and failed. And I only now buy those genuine, ever, okay? Only because when you buy them genuine ones, they're reliable, okay, and your machine will run beautiful. But the biggest culprit for these type of lawnmowers not running correctly is the fuel. Remember my Aspen trick. If you run Aspen from September, October, throughout the winter season, even if you're cutting throughout the winter season, when it gets a bit colder here like in the UK, and you put it away in the shed from November, December, January, even February, that's 4 or 5 months your machine's going to be away collecting moisture, even in the shed. If you run it on an Aspen 4-cycle fuel, which is the blue one, not the orange one, if you run it on that, get it straight back out again, and your machine will run with absolutely no issues at all, and then change back over to the E5, fresh fuel you got from the garage, not fresh fuel from the can from last year. And your machine should run. So there you go. Hope it helped. I'll have more videos coming. I've got to work on these two over here. I've got a Kaz and a, what's that one called? Kaz, that one. And that one there is called a Sarp. Both belong to a friend of mine. That one, engine runs lovely. That one, engine don't. That one, drive runs lovely. That one, drive don't. So we're going to take the engine off of that, put it onto that. One good mower, that'll leave me one mower with no drive and a bad engine. But that's what we do. So we're doing that hopefully tomorrow. Got work tonight. I'm going to take my dad down to the doctor's on Wednesday for his Alzheimer's dementia annual assessment. So that'd be fun. And then I've got my own medical at work up in Basingstoke on Thursday. So I've got a busy week myself. But I wanted to get all these trees off of the grass. It's starting to kill my grass. So I did that today. Stacked it over there and over there. I have asked Cobra if they want to send me a chipper to do a review on, because I've got some stuff to chip. So hopefully they'll send me one for review, and then once all that's been done, I can then get back up there again and get some more of this stuff gone. I want it gone by this summer so that next winter I don't have the problem. So there you go, quick video on me friend's lawnmower there, which wasn't even starting, it is now. Maluba's working, Pip's been a pain in the arse, and I'm just losing weight as usual. So good. I'll give an update maybe every week on what I'm doing with my weight. I say I'm 1 stone 3 or 4 pound down now. So yeah, 17 pound in total I've lost. So that's good. And I've just walked 46 miles last week. So that's good. Today's steps so far are 6,930 steps just this morning. It's only about 11:30 in the morning. So Nice little dog walk pip tonight, maybe another 6,500. So I'm trying to do between 10 to 15,000 a day if I can do it. So yeah, we're on a bit of a fitness hike. So I'm going to go back indoors now, a cup of coffee, see what Ryder Boy's doing. Pip can go and settle down for a bit because she's been a pain in the bum all day. Lube is nearly finished and we're done. So it's like a video of Micks Mowers and Mower Man on how to successfully get your lawnmower up and running again. Then hit the old subscribe button and whack the old bell, set notifications to all. That way you'll be told it's time I upload another video, and I look forward to you girls on the next time Micks Mowers very, very soon. But don't forget, much more importantly, take care easy.